Today, we're exploring how, in the wake of the Titanic disaster, public interest in her sister ship remained at an all-time high. Captain Herbert Haddock, commander of the RMS Olympic during the Titanic's maiden voyage, later recalled, "A week before the Titanic sunk, the Olympic passed over the very spot, or a few miles north of it, in broad daylight. We never saw a single particle of ice of any description, and from the bridge of the Olympic we could see, I should think, 20 miles on either side." In the days that followed the disaster, Olympic remained docked, not because of ice, but because of unrest among her crew. The dispute involving the firemen of the White Star liner Olympic over newly acquired collapsible lifeboats was settled on the evening of April 25, 1912, but a new conflict emerged. The striking crew demanded that the company fire the firemen who had remained loyal a day earlier. The company flatly refused. The men were not satisfied, and the entire staff of firemen, greasers, and trimmers, with but 3 exceptions, ceased work, collected their kits, and left the ship singing, "We're all going the same way home." The company began recruiting a new crew from Portsmouth, and it was announced that the massive liner would depart for New York with a replacement crew the following morning. Earlier that day, the collapsible boats were tested off Spithead. Officials from the Seafarers Union and a delegation of 9 firemen were on hand to witness the official tests. "We agreed to test 4 of the collapsible boats selected by us," the union president said later. "We tested the boats in water for 3 hours and passed 3 as seaworthy, though one of the 3 was leaking slightly. The 4th boat had a hole in her and was leaking badly. We agreed that she was unseaworthy and afterward told Mr. Curry, the Southampton manager of the White Star Line, and Captain Haddock, the commander of the Olympic, that we were prepared to recommend the men return if the unseaworthy boat were replaced. These terms were accepted. Mr. Curry's explanation was that the problematic boat was leaking a little, presumably having been slightly damaged while being launched. Upon their return to Southampton, the delegates discovered the striking firemen had gone home. Before leaving, however, the crew had made it clear they would not sail unless the men who had remained on the ship the day before were removed. The White Star Company refused to comply, stating they would rather cancel the voyage than fire loyal employees. Union officials were then tasked with finding the strikers, but the White Star Company had already begun recruiting new firemen elsewhere. On May 4, 1912, a court in Portsmouth ruled that the sailors were guilty of mutiny, but discharged the mutineers without imprisonment or fine due to the special circumstances of the case. Fearing that public opinion would be on the side of the strikers, the White Star Line let them return to work. During this tense time, some passengers even volunteered to help with stokehold duties. One first-class passenger, Ralph Sweet, recalled, "Our idea was that we should stoke the boat to Queenstown, where the captain would have been able to get fresh men. About 100 passengers volunteered altogether, and we would have been able to work in short watches. Captain Haddock thanked us nicely, and I thought he was going to put us to work right away, but he told us afterward that he would not call on our services." In the end, with tensions eased and a crew in place, Olympic finally sailed on May 15th. Yet despite these clear conditions, the disaster had revealed serious flaws in ship design and safety that could no longer be ignored. On October 9th, 1912, the Olympic was withdrawn from service and returned to Belfast for major safety upgrades based on lessons learned from the Titanic disaster. Her lifeboats were increased from 20 to 68. A double hull was constructed around the engine and boiler rooms, and 5 watertight bulkheads were extended up to B deck. An additional bulkhead was added, bringing the total to 17, and the pumping systems were improved. These modifications ensured Olympic could survive damage to her first 6 compartments, unlike Titanic. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. Your support helps me get closer to my goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Until our next voyage through history, take care, and I'll catch you on the next one.
We all go the same way home, all the whole collection in the same direction. All